CQ.
Hello and welcome back to CQ, the AWS Certification quiz show, where we're back with another episode covering our Cloud Practitioner exam, backed by popular demand. So today I've got with me JJ. JJ, why don't you tell our viewers a bit about what you do here at AWS?
I'd love to. Hey everyone, so my name is John. I'm one of the account managers here at Amazon. I've worked at Amazon for 4 years, and my role is really helping our customers be successful on the platform. Amazon and AWS are a little bit different. Everything's driven on demand, so I feel like my role is to help people see the value of the cloud, and then the hypothesis is if they see value, then they'll work on our platform and run their workloads or do their innovative projects. So,
Awesome.
What about me?
Well, it's awesome to have you here. Why don't you tell us a bit about, I hear you've been working on some cool stuff just recently. Bit of a release just last week, right?
Yeah, so I guess as part of my role, I work with about 30 or 40 of our AWS customers, so a split of people who are using the cloud and who are looking at using the cloud. We recently had one customer who is Sage Australia, so they handle a lot of the accounting tax returns here for the ATO. They have public accountants that use their software to assist. So if you file a tax return in Australia, your accountant more than likely may use Sage.
Okay.
And they're a software vendor. And one of the things that they had is they have this application out in the ecosystem called HandySoft. And HandySoft is it's a thick client app developed a number of years ago. And they were looking at transforming that so that their accountants didn't have to install applications on their desktop anymore. And instead that they could use it through a browser like Chrome or Firefox.
Okay.
So we helped them kind of modify the application and transform it to be delivered in a new way.
Check it out. You can Google it right now, right?
Yeah. It's on the AppStream 2.0 case study website.
Awesome. I might get producer John to pop that into our chat as well. Thanks, JJ. Tell us a bit about where we are streaming from today.
Yeah, so we're streaming from the Sydney Harbor. Or maybe some dock around that area.
Somewhere thereabouts.
Yeah.
So that's not you in the background, to be clear.
He does look really relaxed. I'm envious. It looks like a beautiful sunrise. But I think I wanted to stream from this spot. I grew up in Massachusetts and was an avid fisherman back then.
There we go.
Moved to Michigan and kind of lost that. There's not as much saltwater or great fishing in Michigan. But I moved to Sydney 4 years ago, and since then I've really got hooked back on the sport and really enjoy it as much as I can.
So when you're not helping out customers, we can find you fishing.
Last year, a lot, but I had a little wonderful baby girl in the last 9 months, so sometimes not as much now, but I can be seen. I was out there last Saturday fishing, so yeah,
well,
occasionally.
We can get out and about now, so that's awesome. JJ, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Are you ready to jump into our Cloud Practitioner exam?
I'm ready. I'm ready to look at the questions, see what answers, and if you guys got any tricks for me.
We'll certainly try along the way. So just a reminder to everyone watching along, these are the 4 concepts that you will find in the Cloud Practitioner exam. So whenever we're concentrating on CPE, these are the concepts that the questions are based on. So cloud concepts, security and compliance, technology, as well as billing and pricing. So this should be absolutely easy for you.
Let's
JJ.
see how we go.
All right, let's do it. Lost signal. I'm just going to read the question for everyone's behalf, okay? So maybe you'll want to repeat it for us as well.
Yep.
Question number 1 is actually on software delivery. Hopefully producer John can get that back up for you really soon. JJ, here we go. Which AWS service offers a digital catalog with thousands of software listings from independent software vendors that make it easy to find, test, buy, and deploy software that runs on AWS?
Oh, we're back.
We're back. Oh, perfect timing.
Brilliant. Look at that. Okay, so I'm going to run through this question a little bit. So we're looking for a digital catalog with software listings. Okay, so that makes me think about the technology partners that Amazon has and how they can give their services on AWS. It needs to be searchable, where they can test, buy, and deploy on AWS. Cool, straightforward. Let's run through and see what we have. So Amazon Machine Images, if you're familiar with those, or AMIs, that is a pre-baked image for either a Windows or a Linux operating system. So not really a software listing. It's more of when you want to deploy an EC2 instance, you pick a base image to launch.
Perfect. So nothing to do with the question?
Nope.
Good tip there.
Yeah, directory service, not so much. Marketplace definitely could be. So our marketplace aligns around the software listings, and you can go in and procure, but we'll park that one for a minute and we'll go through the last one to see what makes the most sense.
Service catalog.
The service catalog. So a service catalog is more really for users of AWS and for organizations to be able to build predefined like templates or services that they want to publish internally. So it's not much third parties, it's more third party technology solutions. It's more what do you want to use within this the platform. So with this one, I'm going to go with 3, with the AWS Marketplace.
100% of our online viewers have gone
the same.
with Marketplace with you. Yes.
Yes.
So please remember, vote by clicking, by typing the number of the answer that you think it is, and you can vote along with us. And JJ, let us double check that this is the definition for Marketplace. Off to a flying start.
First one out of the way.
Take a breath. You're done. You're done. Let's do it. Let's move on to question number 2. Economics. Here we go. Each software developer in your company, JJ, is using their own Amazon EC2 instance during work hours. However, outside of work hours, these instances are not required.
Yep.
How can you minimize costs for these Amazon EC2 instances?
So the interesting one that I see here in the question, it talks about software developer, right? And software developers typically work a 9-to-5 job. I definitely know some who work much more extended hours. But
we had Josh on last week, so definitely don't say that.
let's go with the idea that they want to work business hours. So we're looking to optimize outside those. Okay, so off hours they're not required. So let's run through these answers. Auto scaling to reduce the number of unused instances. Well, auto scaling to me, it's based on triggers, right? So it's a threshold on CPU utilization. Typically, where if it falls below, you either scale down an instance or scale up. Increases an instance, like horizontal scaling. So I'm not sure about one.
I don't think it knows the difference between used and unused. Is what. Yeah.
In the auto scaling number 2, auto scaling to reduce the instance size. Well, auto scaling, it reduces the count, not so much the size of the instance.
Absolutely. Wouldn't know if it's underutilized as well if we look at the rest of that.
Yeah, because it goes on that threshold, correct. 3, stop the instances. So it's definitely, this is one of the core philosophies of AWS. If you're running on demand, you can just turn off an instance or stop it. And this is great for developers because they don't want to lose the work they've done, right? They've configured that environment to have the services or the resources they need to develop. So stopping and then starting later is a good way to reduce cost. Moving to spot pricing outside of work hours. Again, spot, if the bid that you're placing for that instance, so spot works on your bidding for unused capacity. If that bid, if you don't have the right price point, your instance can be terminated. So not a great situation for a developer if they want to keep the information they have on that instance persistent.
Absolutely.
So in this case, I really think, stopping it would be the best way to cost
I think so.
this.
Quick check on the poll, and you've got another 100%. JJ.
Everybody's on the same page today.
I think so. Let's do it. Number 3, it is stop the instances. Let's hope we get something a bit harder for you. Question 3.
Let's talk something deeper.
Question number 3, our value proposition.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be right up your alley as well, I feel.
I hope so. It's
JJ.
what they keep me around to do, to talk to our customers
exactly right.
about value.
This is literally your job. Let's do it.
I hope my manager's not watching. If I get this wrong, then
please don't get it wrong.
Katrine,
if you're watching, here we go. JJ, which of the following components is included in the value proposition of the AWS cloud?
Yeah.
I'm just going to sit back and enjoy this
How
one,
long
JJ.
do we have? So the value proposition of AWS cloud. There's lots of reasons our customers use the cloud. They want to try new services. They want to be innovative. They want to try machine learning. They want to do things that's cost prohibitive for them on premise, right? Like if you want to spin up or do machine learning on premise, it's challenging, right? Because you need to procure that hardware. Then you need to get certified people to help you set it up and configure it. So there's lots of values that I see. Let's run through these answers and see what kind of aligns. I might start from the bottom this time.
Let's do it.
Top to bottom. So easy migration.
It's your show. You can do it however way you like,
awesome.
JJ.
Easy migration of physical servers. This is an interesting one because I think, yeah, there is a value prop for AWS for migrating physical servers. I do that with customers a lot. So they have physical infrastructure on premise. They want to transform that and they want to run it on AWS. Maybe they want to trade that capital cost of buying that infrastructure to an OpEx cost of running it on demand on EC2. So I think there's some weight in 4, but let's keep running through. Number 3.
You got a couple of hits on number 4 there as well.
Okay, there we go. So some people are on board with me.
But I guess technically we have our own servers. That's the whole point.
Yeah, so
just inputting my little...
Yeah, we're not physically migrating those servers, right? We're transforming them a little bit to be virtualized, which is it's a different kind of use case.
Yep. Let's look at number 3.
Yep, 3.
I'm not going to throw you.
Now, trading the variable expense for capital. This is a kind of an anti-pattern with the cloud. What we're trading on a lot of our customers is trading that capital expense where they need to go and buy hardware and then depreciate it. We're going from the CapEx model to the variable expense. So I don't see this one aligning. So we can rule out 3.
Getting rid of number 3.
And if we look at 2, so fixed price subscription billing. So customers definitely have the opportunity if they want to use reserved instances or savings plans where they can fix a price. Most of our customers transact on demand though.
Yes.
So they're paying just the variable cost. They can turn it on or turn it off. So it's not really a fixed price. If we go back to the previous example with that developer, they're turning the instances off at night, right? So it's not really fixed. If you're not using it, turn it off. So in this one, I think I'll go with 1, just because it's a bit stronger than 4. I think for all the reasons we've talked about, we're increasing the speed. Like we can start new projects, or agility. We can just turn things on and off, which to me really aligns with AWS and the value prop.
And this is the basis of your CP exam. So this is in your cloud concepts. So thank you for going a bit more in depth with those. It's actually really helpful. And exactly what the CP exam is about.
Brilliant. Well, it looks like some of the people agree with me.
Some of them went with number 4 because you went off on your number 4 pitch.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to trip anybody up.
But the answer is, of course, number 1. How are you feeling? 3 down, 3 correct.
3 down, 3 to go. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I think pretty solid.
I've got more than 3 left.
Okay. Good. We've got some time left, so we need to get through a couple more questions.
Let's do it. All right, question number 4. How are you on security?
Well, the old saying here at Amazon is security is everybody's number 1 or day 1 or day 0 job. We focus on security with our customers. I think almost more than really any other subject. It's a huge priority because customers are trusting us to host their critical workloads, their production workloads. Sometimes these contain sensitive data. So yeah, really working through the lens of security is one of my base priorities.
Awesome. We might have just given you another easy one then. Let's give it a go, JJ. What is the automated service that can provide insights into ways to save money, improve system performance and reliability, and identify security gaps? So we've got another definition type question here, which is part of CPE.
This is like the pure definition of what I think is one of the answers.
Okay.
But the key to me in this one is automated. And what automated means to me is like systematically checking things. Given a certain amount of time, it checks like every hour, every couple of days, however that is. So automated is one of the keywords in here.
Awesome.
And it covers a broad range of different things. So not only just cost, but performance, reliability, security. So in these answers, we're going to be looking for something that is pretty all-encompassing.
Okay.
Number 1, infrastructure event management. So the infrastructure event management is a solution offered to our enterprise support customers, which really, when they have a critical premium support customers, when they have a critical, either rolling out a new application. Or if they're scaling up rapidly in regards to like demand, so maybe they did some marketing and they understand that they're going to have a huge influx of users. The IEM team helps them. They help them manage that to make sure that the resources are there and that it's an effective, effective scale up, so to speak.
Yep.
So number 1, it's a great service, but it doesn't hit that automated thing that is one of the keys in this question.
Got it.
And then number 2, so we have AWS Trusted Advisor. So Trusted Advisor, there's 2 different tiers. There's checks that can be done on your account, and then through premium support, you get additional checks. And Trusted Advisor really, for me, aligns with what this question's asking for an automated service, particularly
And
because
that all-encompassing.
yeah, all-encompassing.
Yep.
It looks at saving money. So Trusted Advisor will go through and check, are you running resources on demand, and are they running for a significant portion of the month, and can you save money purchasing savings plans or reserved instances. Around security gaps, one of the checks that Trusted Advisor has is checking if the root account for your AWS account has MFA enabled, so multi-factor authentication.
Perfect.
So it hits a couple of those different numbers, and it enables really those robust features that we're asking here.
So we like the look at number 2. What about ProServe, professional services?
Yeah, so professional services will definitely hit into helping customers save money. So our professional services team are effectively consulting agents or folks, so to speak.
We've had a couple of peeps on the show from ProServe.
Oh, good. Yeah. So they probably tell you all about how they work hands-on.
That's right.
They'll go hands-on to help make sure that your application is cost optimized. It's going best practice. They'll help define the architecture. So if you have a new solution and you really want to go in and say you want AWS best practice on how do we roll this out or how do we design it, professional services can help you do that.
Perfect.
But it misses that automated part of this question.
1 and 3, very people-focused.
Yeah.
What about CloudFormation?
So
Just throwing that in there.
Yeah, CloudFormation is a mechanism to deploy resources, right? It's like templates to just deploy EC2 or deploy different services on the platform. Again, you can develop these CloudFormation templates so that things like system performance or reliability are baked in. You build that into the template, but it's not an automated service to help deploy those. So for this one, I would go with Trusted Advisor, answer number 2.
Definitely something that's going to come up on the exam for all our viewers as well. So let's make sure JJ is indeed correct, as well as 100% on our online poll.
Perfect.
Woohoo! Moving on to question number 5. Oh, getting ahead of myself with my questions. Load balancing. All right. Ready for this one?
So we're getting a little more technical here, but we'll see how we go.
Starting to sweat a bit. Nah, you got it. Let's do it.
This is where I typically bring in my solution architect.
Oh, there you go. A bit of insight into how we would work here at AWS.
So in my role, I'm the commercial sales manager. We have a whole host of people within the business that complement me and work with our customers.
Yep.
So if you're a customer, what you can do is once you've gotten in touch with your account manager, they'll have a dedicated solution architect. And if you want to go into technical deep dives around how to architect things or how to use load balancing, you can use that solution architect. It's a non-billable resource to help you build out best practice for your use case. So
this is normally when you'd roll them in?
Yeah, I roll them in.
One of those essays that we've had on the show.
Please talk to Bobby and he'll answer these. But hopefully
it's all on you today.
Yeah,
let's do it. All right, JJ, when an application load balancer detects high volumes of traffic, what does it do to handle the increased volume of incoming requests?
So an application load balancer is detecting high volumes of traffic. What does it do to handle increased volume?
Maybe go through what's a load balancer.
Well, a load balancer to me, there's different types and forms. We'll leave that to my solution architect to spell out every single one. There's network load balancers. I'll leave it there. I'm not going to try and do that. Application load balancers.
But in general?
In general, it's distributing traffic to different EC2 instances. So when it gets increased volume, it's just going to distribute that volume amongst the target group that it's pointing at. So
perfect.
Let's go through them.
You don't need your essay.
Really aligns.
You've got it.
No, I definitely do. I see one that sticks out to me right away because
the word is there. Yeah, I can see what you mean.
Distributes what we were talking about. Let's rule them out though. So number 1 triggers an Amazon CloudWatch alarm. It doesn't have a lot. I mean, you could trigger alarms, but it's not really the application load balancer and what it does when it's distributing traffic. So we'll park that one for now. I think it's 2, but I want to go through the rest.
Okay.
Number 3 talks about switching the algorithm. So you establish the algorithm for how you want to load balance when you create the load balancer. Yep. The load balancer doesn't change that on the fly. So I'd rule that one out. It's not going to change based on increased traffic.
Yep.
And a load balancer also doesn't launch new EC2 instances. It just distributes the traffic.
Triggers, switches, launches, actions that are not going to happen.
Yep. So in this case, I would go with number 2, where we're talking about distributing the traffic equally. It's going to behave the same way.
83% agree with you.
I'm feeling pretty comfortable on this one.
It's not putting you off. I love it.
Not yet.
Let's reveal this answer, and of course, it is that distribution of traffic.
Brilliant.
So you nailed it. You're fine.
We're 5 for 5 now.
You are?
Yeah, how many questions are there total?
I think we've
Don't
got about
remember.
10 today,
No,
but we
on-
never
on
quite
the-
get there.
On the test itself.
Oh, on the I honestly can't remember how many questions
No.
are on the CP exam, but I might get John to find it out and pop it in the chat for
Yeah,
all of you. There's definitely more than 10.
Yeah.
Definitely more than we're going to
It's
go
pretty,
through today.
pretty detailed compared to
Yeah,
this.
it's like a question per minute. Just keep going, keep going.
yeah,
So,
cool.
but I'll find that out and we'll put it on the chat for you. Nice question. Thanks,
Yeah,
JJ.
I'm just curious.
Let's jump into a bit of architecture, shall we?
Yep.
Yeah, let's do it. Which pillar of the well-architected framework, we had this a couple of weeks ago, focuses on the ability to prevent and quickly recover from failures to meet business and customer demands?
Well, if you had this a few weeks ago, you would know the well-architected framework, right?
It's like freaking me out seeing it come back up again, to be honest. Did you see that episode?
Definition of it?
This is all you. I have been there and done this.
Just try to flip it back.
I like that.
So our well-architected framework is a set of principles, and again, my solution architect or I or our partners will engage with our customers to help make sure that their workloads are well-architected. That framework goes through a number of different pillars. So it looks at operational excellence, it looks at the security posture of an application, how reliable it is.
Yep.
So that comes down into what I think this question is going to be asking.
Oh, okay, yep, I see what you
But
did
then
there.
there's also some more here around performance, efficiency, and operational excellence. Cost
This is
optimization.
bringing.
So yeah,
I went through
it's a
ops
tricky one.
excellence last time,
Yeah.
and that wasn't easy. So you got it a bit easier, I feel. Just say it.
So the question we're talking about is, okay, we're preventing and recovering from failures.
Yes. Keywords.
Yep, recovery. So failures are inherent, so we want to make sure that we have a good plan. Security. Security is around identity access management and how people use resources and who has access to them. Not
See
so
access
much,
controls.
Yeah, access control. Not so much preventing and recovering from failures.
Which actually, the question could easily make it look that way
It could.
with them words. I like what you did
depending on how you read into it. Reliability, though, is one of the pillars of the well-architected framework, and it does talk about preventing and then recovering. I think it's 2. Performance efficiency, that's an interesting one. It's an interesting pillar around unused resources or using solutions like auto-scaling or Lambda to make sure that it's going back to the definition, performing. Efficiently performing. And then operational excellence is around your run. It's not so much around preventing.
It's your DevOps practice.
Yeah, DevOps practice. Getting those teams to own multiple hats. So I think reliability.
It's your cost optimization that's missed from the 5 pillars.
Yeah.
Here.
Oh, so cost optimization.
That one would have been perfect for you as well.
It would have been. I love the conversation around cost optimization. It goes into like tagging and making sure that you have a good blend of on-demand versus reserved instance or savings plans. It talks about using the correct volumes if you're using EBS. Are you using high ops or just general SSD or S3? Are you using infrequent access? Or there's lots of areas.
This is what, all right. Mental note: if JJ's on again, we're giving him a cost optimization, well-architected framework pillar question. Noted.
It's actually interesting that from a sales org perspective, we focus a lot on cost optimization.
Yeah.
Which is it's great because we look at our customers and we don't want them to spend money on services that they're not getting value from. So if something's not cost optimized, that means to me it's not adding value. So we focus a lot on making sure that the solutions they have a cost optimized, even if that decreases our customers' bills, because then they're going to get value from the platform and they don't have shelfware or unused resources. So I love the cost optimization policy or framework pillar.
But here, you think we're talking about the reliability pillar. Is that right?
Yep, I would definitely go with reliability on this one. Making sure the applications are built in a way so that they have auto healing, so that in auto healing, for example, if something does fail, it can recover on its own. It's inherent kind of to this question.
Awesome. 100% online. You got another 100%. Going with the reliability pillar, let's reveal that of course everyone is correct on that question.
Awesome. We don't need me. We just need to follow the people online. They already could take the exam themselves.
Let's do that for the next question.
Yeah.
Let's see what they go for before you answer the question.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, everyone, jumping straight to what you think the answer is, and then JJ will react.
Yeah.
Question number 7, another architecture question. Perfect. SQS, Amazon SQS, enables what type of architectural pattern? Great follow-up. Everyone online, choose your answer, and then JJ will
This is a bit of a cheat sheet
us.
for me because I'm not as familiar with this one. So I'm
Also,
happy
it
that
works
everybody
well.
else leads in. You give me the answers. I'll try and make sure that I have a good reason as to why it is what you're saying.
All right, I'm going to leave it open. Maybe break down the question for us,
Yeah.
and then I'll tell you what everyone has given you the answer. So SQS.
Simple queuing service. So that's an Amazon service. There's no way else to define that. And that question is asking what kind of architectural type does it enable? So there's lots of different architectural types. There's microservices. There's queuing services. Yeah, interesting to see what everybody says on this one.
Well, I saw earlier in the chat that we've got some people in the spheres, in the Seattle spheres answering. So far, we've got Sydney, we've got Seattle. Let us know where you are on the online chat. And they're split between 2 and 4.
2 and 4. Okay.
Tell us why it's not 1 and 3, and then we'll jump into 2 and 4.
Why is it not 1 and 3?
Yeah.
So caching layers. So Amazon SQS enables what type of architecture? Why is it not caching? Well, caching to me, you're looking at putting something in front of a SQL Server to cache like frequent queries so that they don't have to be run on the database every time.
So hold things for
hold it
frequently
in memory.
accessed data.
Or if we're looking at like a CDN, like CloudFront caching there for content for users at the edge. But Amazon SQS doesn't really align with that. It's a queuing service, not a cache. So that's why I'd rule out 1. And 3, interesting one. So disposable resources. The objective of having a queue is so that every event that's published to that queue is actioned. You don't want them being dropped or disposable because they all need to be processed.
So this goes totally against this architectural pattern?
Yep. So SOA, or service-oriented architecture number 2, so we've got 14% on that.
Yeah.
That's really around building...
I think that breaks down to like one person.
One person. That's really around building microservices or breaking up an application so that there's distinct parts of that service. So like if we're having like an order or like a website, maybe we'll take Amazon as an example. There's one function or one service that manages search, one that manages your cart. That's really what service-oriented architecture to me is about. But loose coupling, so going back to that queuing, SQS, and that queue, when events are published to the queue, when any resource is available to pull from that queue and then action the event that's in it, to me that's loosely coupling the system. So I would go with 4, which, agreeing with everybody else.
So like what kind of real-world scenario are we talking about there?
For
loose coupling. So something like, you go into the bank, the fire alarm goes off, everyone has to leave, but everyone's query is still in a queue. Well, not query. Everyone's we can still come back in and get seen to.
So we're putting the events or the whatever needs to be processed effectively in a line, so that align so that when a teller is available, or in this case like an application is available, can grab the event, process it, and then let it go. So if the resources that are processing the event are constrained, or if there's that fire alarm and all the tellers run out, the things in the queue don't get lost, they stay there.
Sounds right to me. Almost got there, with most people agreeing with you. Question 7, the answer is of course number 4. JJ, that is all we have time for on this week's episode of CQ. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been awesome to have you on. Got a few notes that might look like you're going to be a return guest, I feel.
Thank you so much.
Would you be up for it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for joining us today. From myself and JJ, we'll see you next time on another episode of CQ.
Bye.